When Manibhai Desai died in November 1993, he had ended a life of following in the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi. As a young man, Manibhai fought in the independence movement. Then, he told me, as he watched the flag of an independent India climb the flagpole on August 15, 1947, he took a solemn oath to dedicate his life to the upliftment of the rural poor. During our last visit together in the summer of 1993, Manibhai showed me around the Nature Cure ashram, which had been founded in the 1940s by Mahatma Gandhi at Urikanjan. After establishing it, Gandhiji then entrusted the responsibility for this ashram to the young Manibhai Desai.
The fact is that in 1945, when I first met him, it was my guess that he was looking for a young boy to join him with a definite mission. And accidentally I happened to be that young boy. And he said, "You join, I accept you." That was his decision. And then I told him what I have studied and all that. I was a rank holder in college and school and a sportsman and gymnastics and all that. And I come from advanced society. Desais are always educated and most of them are well-to-do also. So he asked me a question, a very interesting for you, for everybody I think in the world. That question was very simple. Do you know why India is poor? So I did not reply. I was given an indication from his senior colleagues that I should not be in a hurry to reply questions. This is his style of talking. And he will reply his own questions. And he started talking. He said, India is poor. Look, boy, India is poor because rural India is poor. Very simple reply. Then he came with another question. Why rural India is poor? So again he replied his question. Rural India is poor because rural people, rural communities are drastically underemployed. And he added, underemployment is more complex to be solved as compared to unemployment. And then he added, you'll be surprised, unless you build up rural economy by giving or creating opportunities for rural families for employment, self-employment. He said, underline self-employment, not in a factory, but self-employment. In that case, villages will be prosperous and then only India will be prosperous. You cannot imagine or conceive an idea of prosperous India if the rural India is poor.
As he began tackling the problems of the rural poor, Manibhai didn't go to a village with ready-made answers. Instead, he first looked at the villagers and their lives to see what was most needed and then how those needs could be best met.
You see, point is, normally when an outsider goes or when government starts something about development, they always plan for infrastructure. You should have big roads, you should have colleges, you should have schools, you should have communication equipment, hospital. Infrastructure is number one priority in normal government program. But what I thought, because of my studies in social life of India, in an earlier age, that is 42 to 45, I have gone through that, and I realized that only 3% people in any given village are well off. Only 3%. There are about 12% families who are helping this 3% to exploit the remaining 85%. So unless you go to that 85%, you cannot solve the problem of poverty. So my mission, the message what I got from Mahatma Gandhi was to create opportunity of self-employment, and it is essentially for those who were underemployed. So unless we go and build up a viable program for rural population who are facing starvation, you are facing hunger, you cannot create a better India.
Manibhai immediately realized that each village has its own special needs, and that needs differed from village to village. For example, one village may have their own biogas supply, while the fuel source for another village may still be a cow dung heap.
You see, point is, unless you go with a very neutral mind, without conceived idea, and try to learn from rural people as a student, then only you can find out what is the better situation for that given community. It is not a ready-made shirt. Every village has different approach. And particularly women who are sufferers most in underdeveloped areas, unless you talk with the women, you don't know the real problem. So it is not talking to the people, but talking or speaking with the people, sitting with them and trying to understand and have respect for them. This is normally lacking. Even though they look shabby, they don't take bath every day, they don't have water. But you must have respect. And we, right from the beginning, from 45, we have taken this as a very important discipline, that whatever we know is more information.
One of the questions I asked Manibhai was, what is the starting point in working with a village where, because of conditions like poor soil and lack of water, and inertia and poverty have become a way of life?
The point is, you don't take your ideas, your one important mission, which was even given by Mahatma Gandhi in my 45 interview, that they are starving because they have no work. So you have to find out a self-employment program. Now you can't put a factory, so, but you can do some plantation, fruits, but you don't decide what fruit, what trees. We said, why do we not try some fruit trees? I said, okay. Then I said, which fruit tree you like? Then he will close his eyes. I said, mango. In one village, he said, mango. I said, which mango? There are several mangoes, several varieties. Then he says, after pausing for a minute, he said, Alfonsos. I said, how do you know this Alfonso? It's a new variety. He said, when I was young, I was working in a garden, orchard, and the fellow who has got Alfonso mango orchard, he has got very good bungalow and he has got a very good bullock power, and like that, he is very happy. So, do you want a bungalow? I said, no, but I can improve my hut. So I got the clue that he is very much liking to have a mango. So I did not argue. I did not say anything else. I said, let us grow. So he said, this is the first time a person coming and taking a clue from him and design a program. And this is how, this is the entry point, what we call.
Among the solutions offered by Manibhai was using proper technology and selection of crops geared towards soil conditions, as well as focusing on labor-intensive, high-yield crops for profitable agriculture and farming ventures. Today, India is one of the largest milk producers in the world, and dairy farming is a profitable venture for even the small farmer. Early in his career, Manibhai turned his attention to the extremely low-yielding native dairy cow And through research that focused on crossbreeding, the result was a dramatic increase in milk production. There are now over 550 cattle breeding centers where crossbreed cows like these have resulted from Manibhai's early promotion of technology. The research, gathering, storage, and distribution of semen for further crossbreeding still continues and means profits for over 500,000 farmers throughout the country. It was the enormous success of this crossbreeding program which also led to the establishment of the Nonprofit Development Research Organization, BAIF, in 1967. In this program, as with all those introduced as a result of BAIF research efforts, the underlying philosophy is one of sustainable rural development.
So when you give some program, you see, program should be such that that program is for a long period. Then the program design is such that the gains which the person gets in the start should be also maintained or increased if possible. You should not go a very short-sighted program. You plan something, it is finished, then there is over. There is nothing sold. So sustainability is a very crucial factor when you go to development program. And it must last long. What I feel, it will be so much sustainable that at the end it should create a social security. Social security. The person will say, now I am secured, nothing bother, I will manage. And then the person gets on their own. They don't require anything from outside. They are not beggars. They become in the main part of the mainstream. This is very important. If you overlook the point of sustainability factor, you are lost. On the contrary, you deceive them. They wanted the permanent benefit, not a temporary one. This is very, very crucial.
Also, recognizing the relationship between the environment, the rural economy, and the need for a tree species with varied uses and that could also survive and propagate led to Manibhai's successful introduction of the subabul tree to India.
This is one thing which, because you know, in subabul, it is perhaps the only legume plant which provides legume fodder throughout the year. There is no legume fodder which grows in monsoon. They are all in winter, October to May, over, finished. So legume has protein. Legume improves the soil. So I wanted a tree which is permanent, fast growing. So Professor Brubaker, a very well-known breeder, plant breeder in Hawaii, he gave me this 1 ounce of seed, only 1 ounce. He thought that I am a social worker, I am not a scientist, I am in these clothes. So he said, I may waste this seed. So he gave me 1 ounce. But that 1 ounce created a revolution here.
As BAIF has grown and expanded their research efforts and services throughout the country, they have also been socially aware and focused on the importance of women's role in rural India.
Your whole program must be focused at the woman. Unless you bring women and children in the forefront of any development program in rural scenario of India, your program will go only to 25-28% people. If you take a housewife in India, in particular rural India, she is managing children, growing children, boys, girls. So she is having a major component of management in the family. So if you don't go to the backdoor side and can take her in the program, your program will be very superfluous. So it is a must. We always insist that woman has to come willingly. So we must design programs on which women should jump on it. You cannot force them. It will be attractive to the women. And that is how we are doing every time. I can show you thousands of families of women. They are managing the program. more than 65% program are run by women. And the qualitative change in the life is fantastic, phenomenal. The quality, when women gets in, she takes care of children properly. Then cleanliness comes in. Then immunizing children. Then family planning. Then literacy. Everything can come only if the woman is a part of your program. Otherwise, you cannot imagine about it. Even quality of life, of behavior, the behavior change which you see in families is fantastic when woman is a part of the program. She controls the man very well, in India also, not only in America. She controls the person if she is in the program. So we also take care that the money gained by her is also kept in a separate bank account under her own account, which is operated by her and not by the husband. And this is, I can show you when you have time to show, in tribal, very backward areas. This is a very good change. So our focus is on the family, and in the family, naturally women. That does not create, that does not mean that we want to create class war between man and woman. No, it's a big harmony. In Indian culture, it is blended with harmony and understanding. But we do it very tactfully. We also rope in the husband, the man. Otherwise he can create problem. So we must be very, very clever social scientists. Not only you talk about economy, but also the social health of the family. And I think we have very good success. And that is what Mahatma Gandhi wanted to see. He was very much insisting that women should be brought in the forefront of development. And that is how thousands of women played a very crucial role in a freedom fight with the British.
Developing projects for women led most recently to research and successful introduction of a mushroom growing project. Spores are grown in BAIF's research center labs and then supplied to village women to complete the growing process. Profits from the sale of the mushrooms, when they're marketed, belong to the women growers. This project follows in the line of a delivery system being an integral part of the plans from the very beginning of any new project.
You are right. Actually, our whole approach, the sequence, what I call, is MPT.
What's
M is market, marketable product. So market you must assess, this is a market for this particular fruit. Then you plant that fruit to production. Marketing decides production program. And production once finalized, you should train the people. The T stands for training, P for production, M for marketing. And then you gain money, again another M. And my name is also Manibhai.
The role of agriculture for an economically sound India was a key point with Manibhai. This is because of the large percentage of people who live on and survive by products of the land.
And other, to build up a total package of program, we take activities. Tomorrow even other activities like computer system can also come as an activity. So program design is a package, total package. What is required to see that the family gets all the opportunities, not only production, but also changing the life and make it self-reliant, sustainable. So for this, it's a program design, holistic approach, a comprehensive package. And you add more activities. Sometime, suppose one program activity is now outdated, you forget about it. You have no attachment with that. Today we have got mango, tomorrow we have export market for cashew nut. So we go in for switch over to cashew nut, of course taking confidence of the people. Now we have entered already in cashew nut. Mushroom has come because I saw the potential of mushroom with the women employment. Women can do in their own huts. Very simple technology. But then marketing. So we dried this in the solar system. We powdered it. It is okay. So you can sell any quantity of mushroom, dried and powdered, to the cities of India. You know, agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. And even though we have made open all economy, one should not have a wrong actually impression that we are building our development around industry. No. We have to build our development around agriculture, bring more technologies, make it more viable, leave up traditional things, and make it more economically viable, profitable, and what is sold in the market, you produce. That will bring very high purchasing power of the rural people. And unless you bring or improve purchasing power to the rural people, we are millions in number, 75% people, who will buy your products here. So domestic market, for creating domestic market for our industrial product, there must be the purchaser, and that is the farmer. And that is our whole approach, building from below. So agriculture, in the beginning, you know, when Gandhiji was there, we were under British rule. And Gandhiji and all other politicians thought that time that we cannot take agriculture as a plank of development because we are at the moment slaves. No land reforms, landlords are there and all that. So, looking to that, he took cottage industry, village industry as a plank. He was knowing the weakness, but that was no other alternative. Immediately we changed over, and I was perhaps the first culprit who did not go to that route, but I started agriculture. I see agriculture has a big potential. I am a farmer's son, so I thought about agriculture. All the natural resources, land, livestock, water and vegetation, that is all crops and trees and fruits. This became the core program, which is a fantastic potential of employment in rural areas. We should never forget that majority of the population is illiterate, backward. They cannot operate a computer, but they can plant a tree, a good tree. So your whole thing, we brought Melia here, which you saw here in the background. Very fast growing tree, very good tick, very fast. In poor man's program, the gestation is very, very crucial. When you plant a mango tree, it will take 5-6 years for a mango to come. How will this poor family can sustain? So we break this gestation by giving short-term production programs. Tomatoes, vegetables, seedlings, graft, cow, all these things we bring and break this gestation into various activities. And then he builds up his confidence.
Gandhi considered rural development essential to the success of a free India. He found in Manibhai a young man who shared and would dedicate himself to those beliefs. Manibhai took up the reins of Gandhi's philosophy, putting all of his time and energies into working with the villages in what was to become his life's work. As low milk yield made the average Indian cow a liability to its owner, Manibhai concentrated on increasing milk production, first of many successes.
So our whole approach is to bring new technologies, new systems, new management methods, then finance management, computerized system of analysis, monitoring, evaluating. All this we have to learn from the Western world. And that is our job. So it's a very big task, a challenging task. And I am sure we have a very strong team of qualified and committed people. But sacrifice, commitment, honesty, sincerity will not take you any more further if you don't have know-how, if you don't have professionalism, if you don't understand the subject, if you are not able to identify the problem, that sacrifice will not help you. And this is what one has to understand. It doesn't make I am married or not married. Married people, they have done fantastic work. Mahatma Gandhi was married. Not only married, 4 children. But he did wonders. So there is no difference in my mind, unmarried and married and sacrifice. No, it's all wrong yardsticks. Misunderstandings, I can say. A man who is knowledgeable, but he must have character also. A knowledgeable man with commitment and character, and he does not think of himself but somebody else. Not his wife, but other people, the women. Then he can change the whole world. And that is what I think Gandhi taught us, and taught us also the lessons. And he has lived that life. He is perhaps the only person in the world who has taken birth. He says, my life is my message. Gandhi was the first and the only person who said, my life is my message. Don't ask any message from me. It requires courage. If he has open life, nothing to hide, then only he can say, my life is my message. And that is what we say, we walk on the footsteps of Gandhi. He was a huge personality. But as young, small people, so many thousands, we can go and maintain value of system and do whatever we can in the shortest period and improve the assets, the natural resources, and make it green and very conducive and ecologically sustainable. This is what I think we are trying to do.
Manibhai Desai. He walked in Gandhi's footsteps and dedicated his life to improving the lives of the rural poor. Now he's gone, but his work will continue because the people he surrounded himself with at BAIF, with dedication and commitment, now walk in Manibhai's footsteps.